Cindy Williams, star of Laverne and Shirley, dies at 75. The show, in which Ms. Williams and Penny Marshall played roommates who worked in a Milwaukee brewery, was a spin-off of Happy Days and became a staple of 1970s television. Cindy Williams, an actress best known for her role on the 1970s slapstick sitcom Laverne and Shirley, died on Wednesday in Los Angeles. She was 75. Her death followed a brief illness, her assistant, Liza Crannies, said by phone on Monday, adding that she had died peacefully. No cause was given. With Penny Marshall, Ms. Williams starred in the sitcom, which ran from 1976 to 1983 and was a spin-off of the television show, Happy Days. It followed two young single women working at a Milwaukee brewery in the 1950s. Ms. Williams played Shirley Feeney, an upbeat and demure complement to Ms. Marshall's brash Laverne DeFazio. Laverne and Shirley ran for 8 seasons and, for several years, was among the highest-rated shows in the country. Ms. Williams appeared in more than 150 episodes but left in the final season of the show, after considerable on-set tension between her and Ms. Marshall. Ms. Marshall died in 2018, also at age 75. Ms. Williams is survived by her children, Emily and Zach Hudson, who, in a statement on Monday, described their mother as one of a kind, noting her sense of humor and glittering spirit. Her marriage to the musician Bill Hudson ended in divorce. Before Ms. Williams debuted in the role that would most define her career, she was cast in the George Lucas film, American Graffiti, released in 1973. For her portrayal of Laurie in the film, she earned a nomination for Best Supporting Actress from the British Academy Film Awards. The next year, she was in the Francis Ford Coppola film, The Conversation. American Graffiti and The Conversation garnered Best Picture nominations at the Academy Awards. Ms. Williams also auditioned for the role of Princess Leia in the Star Wars franchise, a part that eventually went to Carrie Fisher. Later in her career, Ms. Williams was a guest star on well-known television shows such as Law and Order, SVU, and Seventh Heaven, and earned several stage credits including the Broadway production of The Drowsy Chaperone, in which she briefly played Mrs. Tottendale. But she was best known as Shirley. She was sort of an optimist, kind-hearted, repressed, temperamental, fun-loving person, Ms. Williams once said of her character. "I always saw her as having this fear," she added, noting that while Shirley's desires were never explicitly played out on-screen, both Laverne and Shirley strove for the comforts of modern life. "That was the sadness of those characters to me," Ms. Williams added. "What if that never happens, then where are we? And that was sort of my life, too." Born in Van Nuys, Calif., a neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley region of Los Angeles, on August 22, 1947, Cynthia Jane Williams became interested in acting during high school and attended Los Angeles City College, where she majored in theater arts, according to biographies provided by Ms. Crannies. "I'm what you might call a valley girl," Ms. Williams wrote in her 2015 memoir, Shirley, I Jest. A Storied Life. She worked at a pancake house, as well at the Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub in Hollywood, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Ms. Williams went on to perform in commercials for deodorant and sunglasses, some of which never aired, she said in an interview with the Television Academy. Her early television roles included parts on Room 222, Nanny and the Professor, and Love, American Style. "I always played the lead's best friend, always," she said. Then known for her seemingly guileless American sweetheart presence, Ms. Williams turned that expectation inside out with an exceptionally sly performance in The Conversation. In the film, the viewer pieces together her words from a surreptitiously recorded conversation, expecting her to be a helpless victim. Not as in control of her own fate as she actually is. More dramatic roles might have followed, but she turned to situation comedy instead. Ms. Williams and Ms. Marshall were writing partners at Zoetrope, a production company founded by Mr. Coppola, where they were working on a prospective TV spoof for the bicentennial, when Gary Marshall, Ms. Marshall's brother, asked if the two women would guest star on his show, Happy Days, as easy dates for Fonzie, Henry Winkler, and Richie, Ron Howard. Fonzie claimed Laverne for himself, while Shirley was meant for Richie, reuniting Ms. Williams with her American Graffiti co-star, Mr. Howard, who had played her boyfriend in that film. The episode of Happy Days, which aired in 1975, was so popular that Mr. Marshall pitched Fred Silverman, a top executive at ABC, about doing a comedy starring the two, arguing that there were no other shows about blue-collar women.